Hello, everyone. This is ZinoNation episode. I won't even say episode because tonight we're going to launch a new show in the ZinoNation network of shows. This is going to be episode 1 of Mavic Air 2 Nation. So we got a big guest on tonight. Shawn Oz is going to come on. I'm sorry, I can't mute this thing before the show starts. We got Shawn Oz coming on with us tonight. He's going to give a different perspective on the Mavic Air 2 than the rest of us have. You know, we're kind of all in on it and whatever, and he may not be, but we're going to get that in a minute. So I want to throw it over to my co-host Marcus Crawford tonight, who's having a good evening here. Marcus, take it away.
You know what, guys? I'm doing all right today. I just came in. Believe it or not, we're in April, so I took the snowplow off of my ATV and put it away. And then my wife and I took the opportunity to put all the new stickers on the ATVs and the insurance forms and all, stack of paperwork about that deep. And we took them for a little ride around the neighborhood, which is perfectly legal in Idaho. You can ride them on the street. And then, so now time for the show, man. I'm all in.
Okay, Bill, how are you tonight? How's everything down in sunny? Well, you already told me pre-show, not sunny Florida today.
No, not sunny Florida today. I don't know if you guys saw today or not, but it was on Twitter. I don't know if somebody put it on Facebook or not, but it was on Facebook. Saw a tornado on the interstate that was near us here in Florida today. Somebody recorded a tornado near I-75 in Citrus County, which isn't too far away from us. So we had whitecaps on the lake today, thunderstorms all day long. But it was a great day because I was busy at work and the day went by pretty quickly. So, and we had some of my homemade chicken noodle soup from yesterday, which Valerie says was the best that I ever made. There you go.
You didn't have a drone up there when the hurricane came by.
No drone today. It was not. Winds were probably about 35, 40 miles an hour, and UAV said no flying today.
No flying today.
But I'm excited to be here tonight because we got a lot of great stuff to talk about.
We not flying drones today. We're going to be talking about drones today. So we're again, when Shawn comes in, we're going to jump into the Mavic Air 2, which is the kind of the subject of the show. And I know everybody's beaming about the this drone coming out. We're going to be live next Monday during the release. We don't know what that release entails, but we're going to find out some information, and maybe even Marcus Crawford can hit that famous buy button during next week's show, whatever. And Bill's going to have a separate show going on in the Bill the Drone Reviewer Network. So we don't mind if you hop back and forth or whatever. But anyhow. I'll let either one of you, Marcus, Bill, give us some updates on the Fimi X8 SE 2020. Bill, you had a little information pre-show, didn't you, on it?
Yes, got a couple of things here. Someone in, by the way, my Fimi X8 SE 2020 group on Facebook just went over 100 people. So if you're interested, please join it. I mean, it's going to be a great fountain to share information there. And that's what my groups are for. It's to share information. One of the members of the group was in contact with Banggood, and Banggood told him his is going to ship on the 16th. And, if that's true, that's excellent news. I mean, that's a lot sooner than, getting it in May. So, we're doing one of these, but that's a good thing too. Now, also, I have got in a email, and I sent a follow-up email to Banggood asking them about Fimi Care, because as you know, I contacted Fimi, and Fimi told me you need to get with Banggood. So apparently this is a Banggood thing, this Fimi Care, because I've had several questions, and one of them is, I couldn't purchase Fimi Care. I'd have to buy the drone without it. Can I get it afterwards? And that was one of the questions that I posed to Banggood. And can you explain the program and how it works? So I'm waiting to hear back from them. And as soon as I do, I'll definitely share with everybody here on ZinoNation and get it out there on the Facebook group so we'll all know about that. So, it's exciting. I mean, things are happening, and that's a good thing, because anything we can do to take our mind off the way the current world situation is, that's a plus.
Yeah, so the 2020 version of the Fimi X8 SE Near as I could tell, I've seen a couple different ship dates on the website. The people that ordered it earlier, it was stated to ship on, it was either May 15th or 16th, something like that. And I noticed now that with the second batch, for just a very brief period, one night, the drone showed as unavailable. And then the next day it was available again at that same discounted price. But then that ship date moved to the 29th of May, I believe it is. So I suspect that's just two different batches of drones. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that thing. And then they say 1,000 people can get it for $299, which, if I understand that correctly, and I'm not sure that I do, so don't take this as the word, but it looks to me like if you go back to their website on May 4th, you enter your order number in, and it tells you whether you will get that refund to take your price down to $299. And that website is going to be open for, I think it was like May 4th to May 10th or something like that. So you just need to make sure you have your order number so you can go and enter it on that website. So that'd be kind of fun, right? To get a little money back.
Oh yeah, thanks for the update, Marcus. I mean, this is kind of a confusing topic here, so thank you for being up on that. And I want to shout out Third Eye View here. He just received his Autel EVO today. He says it still feels cheap compared to the EVO. I guess he means the EVO 1. And also, I've got good news. I got word from John of Drones today, which I haven't seen him in here yet, but he won the EVO 2 at CES in January, and he did get a message from them today that somebody from there, the giveaway department, will be contacting him soon about receiving it. So hopefully his will be coming soon. But that's great that Third Eye View got his. I guess he pre-ordered from one of the resellers, is what I'm guessing. Maybe he'll update us in the chat here today. Now, I went out to Autel's website today. You still cannot purchase on their website. And I hopped over to Best Buy. You could not purchase on their website. And then I went over to one of the camera stores in New York. I forget which one. And they had on the website, but it was only on pre-order. So I could not find, of the three sites I looked at, I could not find a place where I could actually buy it today. So, but it's great that the Third Eye View got a hold of his. Bill, have you heard anything new on the I mean, we got the message late last week. It was come out on the 20th, but since then, has there been any updates?
No, I haven't seen anything on that, and that's kind of puzzling. Like I told you before, it's like especially and it's weird how Autel does this, because normally you could go to a drone manufacturer's website and just buy it from them. I mean, even Hubsan, for Pete's sakes, you could buy drones directly from them. But Autel, it was kind of funny because, well, back in the day, back when I had my X-Star Premium, you could buy it directly on their website. You could buy accessories and everything. And right now, I mean, they just talk about it on their website, and they don't really even tell you. I mean, if you ping them, they'll send you to a reseller, okay, which could be Best Buy, it could be DroneWorks, it could be Carolina Drones. Who knows who it's going to be, okay? And that's the thing with that. It's really kind of gray.
Yeah, thanks for that clarification. I want to skip around here. Sam Burns in the chat. I figured one of you two guys broke this story last week. But did we confirm the Fimi has the Palm camera? Who broke that story? And can you help Sam out with a confirmation?
I got an email from someone in my Fimi X8 SE 2020 group that told me that.
Okay.
Yeah, it bears mentioning, Bill, and I know you agree that we just heard that, and so we really don't have any confirmation of it. But if that's the case, I see that as pretty good news. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, I mean,
I do. Like I said, this has in my limited testing, this has a better camera than the Fimi X8 2018 and the Zino 2. So that will be a good upgrade. Sam, I hope that answers your question. That we basically we're just giving you rumor.
Hey Ron, so in the meantime, Ron Levesque said that you can get it on B&H. So while we were talking, I went on their website. And it shows you can buy it. It says add to cart, but then it's also got a request stock alert button, and it says new item coming soon below that. So I don't know if you hit add to cart, if that's just a pre-order.
That's what I looked at too, and I didn't go all the way through, but I suspect that if you hit all that, I mean, you may have quote given them their money, but you wouldn't get a tracking number saying the drone was on the way to you, and you know, and I bet you if you did all that, you wouldn't get a tracking number in the next 24 hours saying the drone is coming to you. So that leads me to believe that they do not have that product in their warehouse. But again, that's speculation on my part.
Well, let me tell you, Ron. So just for the fun of it, I went ahead and added it to my cart, and it seems pretty clear that they will take your money.
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it still says new item coming soon. Ship time not available. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So yeah. So again, it is what it is. I mean, we're tired of, you know, I don't want to criticize Autel. They got to run their own business. But what all I'm saying is, if I was Autel, man, I would certainly have that drone shipping out and being able to purchase and ship the same day before the Mavic 2 Air arrives. Would you agree with me, Bill?
Oh, 100%. I mean, because you know, a week from now, everybody's going to say, Autel what? Okay. Because the only thing we're going to be talking about is going to be the Mavic Air 2 next week. Okay. That's all anybody in the drone world is going to be talking about, except, you know, and if you're a diehard Autel fan, you know, I'm an Autel fan, but there are some Autel fans that it's kind of like, you know, give me liberty or give me death. You know, it's my way or the highway kind of thing, you know, and no disrespect to anyone who thinks like that, who thinks that Autel is the best that's out there. But, you know, from our experience, all three of us, it's like, you know, you have to, you try the drone out. Okay. And compare it to other drones. Okay. And, you know, if you're only looking at one drone, then you have a one-dimensional view. But if you're looking at two and have the other drone and can compare it, or see a friend's drone and try it out, okay, that's when you can be able to be objective about it, you know, and that's what good drone people do. They go out there and they're objective about it. So that's I'm off my soapbox now about that. But
yeah, I mean, all I got to say is after having, I don't know, most of 2019 and then the early part of this year kind of being like, what would we call that, drone starved or whatever, outside the Mavic Mini, this is the spring of drones here. I mean, we got the Autel EVO, you know, kind of releasing in the top end. This Mavic Air 2 comes to top end. And then in the affordable drone section, you know, I'm going to call the Hubsan Zino 2 a spring release because most of us didn't get it until mid-March. So, and then we got this Fimi X8 2020, which looks like it could ship in mid-May. So really, in the affordable drone, camera drone area, and the level above, you know, and we'll say even a level above that because we have that Evo 2 Pro coming too. I mean, this is really, Bill, this is like almost the golden time for drones in the last. I'm going to say since the Mavic Pro 2 came out, or the Mavic 2 series after that, we kind of went into a drone lull for more than a year and a half now. But the only thing we really saw of any notoriety was the Mini. And if I'm missing something, let me know. But now all of a sudden, we have some really interesting products kind of all coming to the market at the same time. And unfortunately, they're all arriving in the middle of the coronavirus lockdown. And I don't be political, but the stagnant economy. I'm trying to make a word where I'm not, you know, a slow economy. Is that a good word to say?
Yeah, that would be good.
So it kind of like, you know, this feast of drones coming at the worst possible time. Am I making any sense with this, guys?
Yeah, you are, Ron, because you know it's like, and I've seen there's like two schools of thought here. Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, he had to do it.
Go ahead, Bill. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. No, there's two schools of thought here. Okay. It's like, all right, you know, stay buttoned up, stay locked inside, don't do anything, you know, and if you do that, you're going to go BS crazy. Okay. You will. no indifference to, anything about that. But, if you're cautious and exercise and follow the precautions and things, eventually, it will be okay to get outside, and it will be okay to go out there and fly. And here's the other thing, okay? Our big box retailers are going to need help, okay? Just because they're a big store, all right, doesn't mean, that they're getting, they had to lay off 100, example, Best Buy laid off 100,000 people today, okay? And if you can, and if I can, and if it's going to make sense, I may purchase mine from Best Buy next week instead of directly through DJI, if it makes sense. I mean, if I can, have that opportunity and do that here. Well, the other thing is, and I don't know if you said this, Ron, during your pontification there, but rumor the Mavic 3 is coming out this summer. I mean, if that's the case, it's like hold on, Marcus's wallet is burning right now, and my fingers getting trigger itchy. And
all we can pray for is the stock market to return to form by then.
Yeah, I mean, if stock market returns to form, Marcus is just like he's gonna beat us to the punch as far as that's concerned. But no, Ron, you make perfect sense with what you're saying. I mean, the timing of this is just not ideal, okay, for a lot of people, for a lot of reasons, okay. All three of us are fortunate in where we're at. Both Valerie and I are thankfully we're employed. We're able to work from home and telecommute. Ron's semi-retired. Marcus is retired. And have income coming in, which is fortunate. And all three of us are very thankful for that. But there's a lot of people who aren't in our situation, and and our thoughts and prayers are with them. So go ahead, Marcus. I'm sorry, I was on my soapbox for a little bit.
That's all right. Hey, so the only thing I want to mention with regard to the Autel EVO 2, and I got to be honest with you, I'm not the expert on that drone in any way, but I did watch Aldrin Estasio's comparison video today where he took up the Mavic 2 Pro and the Autel EVO 2 Pro, the one with the 6K camera and the 1-inch sensor. And he did a really good job of putting side-by-side video together. And in my mind, the Mavic 2 blew it away. I just thought every comparison was better. And even Aldrin he was very diplomatic in the way he said it, but he was talking about the flat profile of the log profile on the EVO 2, and he said it's so flat, he struggled to bring the colors back out in that video, and you could tell by looking at it. The other thing that he mentioned was how much better the Mavic 2 flies than the EVO 2. We are so used to those buttery smooth flight controls that DJI provides, and like he said, he goes, the EVO 2 is not bad, but he says it's just not the same as flying that Mavic. He said it moved around a little, and he couldn't get the same smooth shots that he could with the Mavic 2.
Now, what's real interesting, and I've heard this from, we had Third Eye View that said it, but some other ones, the EVO 1. The EVO 1 is a very stable platform, okay? You're going to get 4K 60 from it. One of the things I can tell you, if you've never had the opportunity to fly one, do it, okay? I think it's a great drone. I think they're going to go for a bargain basement price here coming up in a few weeks. So if you could find one, grab one, because Autel has worked all the kinks out of that. It shoots great video. I mean, the color profile on that, Ken Dono and I were talking about that, and I told him, I said, he said, Billy says he really doesn't have to do a lot of post with it because it's just the color profile, the way it is, the way it shoots straight. It's just like, Ken loves to do that and he's great at it. But he said you don't need to do a lot with it, which is fantastic. And they had horizon tilt issues on, but I think they really stepped to the plate with their software. and they got things squared away with it. It's a very stable platform. It's also surprisingly, okay, I'm going to tell you this, it was probably one of the heaviest drones I've ever picked up, and I'm including the Phantom 4 Pro. That is a very heavy drone, and it's very solid. I mean, like rock solid, and it flies great. I mean, it's worth a consideration if you're looking for that, and it's going to be at a great price coming up in a couple of weeks, I predict.
Funny, Marcus brought up about Audrey and saying the video was real flat and hard to recolor. Well, in one of Ken's videos, Ken Donna's videos, he had the same thing. He was doing was shooting in log and recoloring it, and the same thing. I mean, you could see that it was almost too flat, that he didn't seem to get the colors back up to where they should, but he had to even make his own like Rec 107 correction up or whatever. So it's funny, you said you talk about how flat that that raw videos, and I like the pair of Nafi. Like when you put the Nafi in log, it's real, like it's like almost like black and white. It's so flat or whatever. So it's kind of like that, I guess. But I'm kind of stuttering here. We're still waiting for Shawn to come in. He gave me a message he'd be here in a few minutes. So if you guys have any questions or anything about stuff we talked about, not forgetting our little Hubson too. I haven't flown it lately, but I started up the other day to see if there was any firmware updates pending. And I didn't see anything. Marcus, have you had the Zino 2 turned on lately?
You know what, Ron? I haven't, because I've been flying my 2018 version of the Fimi XE SE, and then as you know, I've been flying the Skydio 2, which is just a riot. That thing is more fun than a barrel full of monkeys. And I also, I'm ashamed to even admit this, but I hadn't flown the Mavic 2. Man, in probably a couple of months. So I put it up in the air and I did a hyperlapse video with it. And one thing about that Mavic is every time I fly it, and when you haven't flown it in a while, you're just always just amazed by how easy it is to fly and how smooth it is and how great everything works on it. It always is refreshing to put that thing in the air.
I gotta put a plug in for Marcus here. All right, you guys need to watch his latest video. All right.
Oh, hold on, it's not released yet.
I haven't published it yet, but I will, Bill.
It's unreleased, Bill.
Am I allowed to plug it?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
You gotta get the bootleg.
Okay. Marcus did a video 7 years ago. He got a Honda lawnmower. Okay, and he did a video on it. And has an ungodly number of views on it, like 140,000, I think. Okay. Well, Marcus did
260,000, but
200. I'm sorry. I was way off there. Okay, 260,000 views on it. Okay, just a straightforward demo of this Honda lawnmower, and it's a great lawnmower. Well, Marcus still has it. He did a follow up to it. And here's the bonus to the follow-up, okay? He had the Skydio and the Mavic 2 track him in the backyard while he's cutting the grass with the lawnmower, okay? Guys, Ron and I got a sneak peek. It's not one thumbs up, it's 2 thumbs up, okay? It's just exceptional. I just absolutely loved it. Marcus shows you how to change the blades on it, okay? Make sure, and he did the right thing. He took the spark plug out, okay?
The lawnmower, not the
not the drone, the lawnmower. He took the spark plug out so it wouldn't fire up when he was doing that. But definitely when Marcus releases it, guys go over and watch it, because give him another 260,000 views on it, because he deserves it.
Bill,
fantastic.
That's a great plug, Bill. When that Skydio 2 is following Marcus with his lawnmower, it's almost exciting as the Skydio following Shawn down those mountains in Colorado. Almost.
I was wondering what you guys were talking about. I was like, lawnmower?
Well, we're talking about an unreleased video now. We'll send you the bootleg or whatever.
All right.
But it's upcoming. Hey, everybody, welcome Shawn Oz to the show tonight. I asked him to come on tonight. He's got a little bit different perspective on the Mavic Air 2 than the rest of us do. Welcome, Shawn. How are you? How are things out in Colorado?
Still unemployed. Almost 6 weeks now.
Damn.
Losing my mind.
Oh, yeah.
Just making a lot of videos. There's talk about some businesses starting to possibly reopen next month. So hopefully mine will be one of them.
Are you one of those states where it hasn't hit bad and they may reopen sooner than some of the states like Jersey, which will be last on the list?
I'm in a county that it hasn't hit bad. I think we have 60-something people last I checked that have caught it and only one death. And that person had something else, a pre-existing condition.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Right.
that's fantastic considering you're kind of a resort area. So,
well, as soon as it happened, like I think mid-March, they closed down all the ski resorts. Well, actually, no, it was the March 21st or 22nd. They closed down the ski resorts and closed down all the hotels and closed down all the Airbnbs. So we basically said, if you're a tourist, get the hell out of here. You know.
Yeah, which again, that's the wisest thing they could have did before you did have an outbreak, and like a small town like yours could be devastated by some kind of outbreak among the local people.
Yeah, we actually were the first county in Colorado to get a case of it, and it was a guy that came from Italy that had known that he was around people, and came here to go to Vail and Keystone and go skiing.
Wow,
he didn't care.
Yeah, wow. Well. We promised Bill that we wouldn't talk too much about the corona because we want people to come to the show to get away from the the corona news. But anyhow, so we'll jump right into. We were talking about all the other. We talked a little bit about the EVO 2 kind of being released today, but we went to all the major websites, and it doesn't look like you could. It still looks like it's at best it's in pre-order. It doesn't look like you could actually order the thing and it's on the way.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of interest in the EVO 2, to be honest. I have an EVO 1 that I'm trying to sell, and I haven't been able to sell that yet.
Well, the price is going down by the minute now that the EVO 2 is coming out. That's for sure.
What is the last price you guys saw the used one selling for? Like used, like very low hours. Still got the box.
I see them refurbed, not as used, but I see them refurbed for somewhere in like the $600 range or whatever for a refurb.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured a couple of weeks ago I might have got 7 or so, but I was thinking this week it might be down to 6.
I'm doing a search right now, Shawn, and I'm gonna give you a number here pretty quick.
I appreciate that.
And to chat, anybody wants to put a bid in right now, Shawn will listen to bids, right?
Yeah, I'll draw a little picture on it. Make that worth more.
And he'll even autograph it for you, right?
If you really want me to, I will. Yeah. Any of you guys pick up the GoPro Max yet? I know last time, a couple weeks ago, we were talking.
Well, we were thinking about, but with this lockdown and economy's real tight now, we're kind of holding that money back. But I can't lie too much. Whatever, we're keeping that money in our pocket for that darn Mavic Air 2, and that's what we're going to get into. Bill and Marcus and we're kind of all googly-eyed over this Mavic Air 2. We think it's a great thing since sliced bread. And Shawn put out a video, and I got to say, your video, every time I look at it, the views just go up and up and up.
Yeah, it's blowing up for some reason.
Yeah. He's got this, again, a different perspective, and I'm not even going to say his different perspective. I'm going to let him explain it to you. So you're an owner of the original Mavic Air, and you really love the thing. And now I'm the only one in the panel that's never owned a Mavic Air. I don't think I've ever actually the closest I've got to one is see one in the Best Buy. I've never flown one. I don't think if I handled it, it was only in a store. So we'll jump into your video where again, you're a big fan of the Mavic Air 1 and the Mavic Air 2, the leaks we've seen. There's quite a few changes that you're not exactly happy with, and I'll let you take it from there.
Well, before I say that, let me just out of respect to the guys in the chat, answer a couple of questions. I noticed a couple of people threw my name up there.
I'll try to highlight them.
So we got Daniel. Daniel was saying that he's with me. I assume that was with not a big fan of the Mavic, or not the Mavic. I'm sorry, I'm not that interested in the EVO 2 at the moment, and I agree with that. But we can get back to that conversation later if you guys want to hear about that.
Definitely.
And then there was one more. Oh, Ray Kelly asked if I had snow still here in the mountains, and there is snow. It's melting off, but we got 6 to 10 inches the other day, and that already melted away. At this point, when we get these bigger snowstorms, they melt away a lot faster. If the resorts were still open, then they are angled in a way that they don't hit the sun, so the snow stays longer on the resorts.
Oh, wow.
But I could probably hike up and go snowboard with the Skydio on a resort right now. And I'm debating it. I'm debating getting the snowshoes and taking my chance because one of my friends is a police officer, and he said, worst case, they're probably going to slap my wrist and tell me to get the hell off their land. So it's tempting to do that just for a video with the Skydio on an actual resort, because technically you're not supposed to fly a drone on a ski resort.
Oh, Daniel has a question for you too. I got it highlighted on the screen if you can see it, or I can read it.
Yeah, I can see it. Why am I selling my EVO? I don't use it. I have an original Mavic still, which I'm thinking of keeping forever just because. I have the EVO, I have the Mavic Air, I have the Skydio now. And is that all I got? I can't even remember if I got some. Of course, I've got drones, grade stuff and all that. But my EVO, I think it takes amazing pictures. Okay, its camera is great. Photography wise, it's a killer drone, and it holds its own even to everything that's coming out right now. I don't like the way it flies as much. Like, actually, it's not as fun to me to fly it. And that's a big factor in the way I use drones, is if they're fun. That's almost more important than the photography aspect. And then two, it's a little less stable, and I've already got these other things that fly the way I like them. I'm super familiar with them. I just don't use it, so that's why I'm selling it. I can't keep everything.
Hey, Shawn, not to interrupt, but I got some reasonably good news for you, I think.
Okay.
So looking on eBay, the range appears to be $650 on the low end and $950 on the high end.
Ooh.
And it's varying by the number of batteries and accessories and that kind of thing. So, I mean, if you just have one battery, I would say $650, $700.
That sounds pretty good to me. I've got one battery, but it's only had, I mean, it's probably got less than 5 hours of flight time on it. It's not that used.
Throw it up on eBay and put like a $700 buy it now with a make offer, and then, $650 your bottom line or something,
Yeah.
And it's
No, I think I'll have to do it, because if I do that, I might actually have to turn around and spend the money on the Mavic Air too, just because.
Well, that's the next question. Will the Mavic Air 1 be going up on eBay?
No, definitely not. I love that the form factor of the Mavic Air. I was going out to make a video today, and I was like, what am I going to bring? I shoved the Mavic Air in one pocket, in my front pocket. I shoved the controller in my other pocket. I put an extra battery in my back pocket.
Oh, dude.
I was good to go. There is no way the Mavic Air 2 is going to fit my jeans pockets like that. It's not going to happen. Especially with that new controller. There's no way. I don't know what kind of pants you wear, but that controller's not ready to neck. You could, but hiking and it bumbles around and hits you.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is my biggest complaint of the Mavic Air 2. Asking me my opinion about it. In my video, if you watch it, I'm not knocking the drone. It's going to probably be a great product. Most of the DJI products are good products. Most. However, to me, the form factor, being an original Mavic Air owner, the way it flies, the form factor, the actual construction of it, the way the arms bend and come back, the feel of it, the quality of the plastics, to me, it's always felt incredibly solid, even more so than my Zoom.
Wow.
Well, you make a really good point, Shawn, in that what I remember, I bought, when it first came out, I bought the Mavic Air, and I remember one of the huge selling points on that thing was kind of like the Mini, in that it was the most compact folding drone there was out there, and the portability of it was just outstanding compared to, and the quality of the video that you could get off of it was just unbelievable compared to what was out at that time. So now, if they're making it bigger, they're kind of throwing that feature aside, aren't they?
To some degree, but if it had the same form factor, I would probably have been first in line to buy it. All it needed was OcuSync and 5 minutes more on the battery. Boom, my money. Here, you take it. But they changed it, and I like to call it the Mavic Zoom Lite, because it even has the 48 megapixel photo mode, which is more than likely going to zoom in to take a bunch of stitch pictures, but then they're going to gimp you and probably not give you the full zoom at your discretion. That's my guess, but We'll see. Maybe if it comes out with a full zoom and it's a smaller zoom with all the features of my zoom, I probably will sell my zoom and then downgrade, because it will be smaller.
Well, by the latest round of rumors, it's going to have a larger sensor than the Mavic Air did in a sensor size, and I'm not sure how they compared the sensor into the Mavic 2 zoom, but it's definitely a larger sensor than we saw in the Mavic Air 1. So the camera will be it will be interesting.
I guess
how good it really is.
I think I just wish that, and if you watch the video, you know, I just wish they called it something else, because it doesn't look like an Air. That'd be like me coming out with a Corvette that looked like a Pinto and calling it a Corvette. Right. It's not the same car anymore. The body style has to match it to some degree to still be that product.
We have a good example of that. Marcus went to CES this year, and he saw the Mustang, electric Mustang, and they're calling this electric car a Mustang, but it bears no resemblance to the Mustang we grew up and loved. And Marcus said to me, he said, it's not that I dislike the car. They should just gave it a new name rather than put the Mustang name on something that's not a Mustang. I think you're kind of saying the same thing.
Exactly.
They're putting the Mavic Air name on a drone that's not a Mavic Air.
It's not a Mavic Air. DJI can call it a Mavic Air. I mean, technically, it is legally a Mavic Air, I guess, if you get down to the paperwork, but it's not a Mavic Air. You know, it's just
One thing, and I liked your video, Shawn, and you did a great job on that, by the way. And
thank you.
Good kudos on that. I think one of the things is you take a look at it from a marketing perspective from DJI. In the Phantom 1, the Phantom 2, the Phantom 3, the Phantom 4, they're all still the same, you know, basic iconic shape, okay, with the legs and the way everything is. The Mavic Pro, when it came out, okay, the original Mavic Pro, and then the Mavic 2 series, same shape, same thing. Now, the only two that really kind of broke the mold were the Spark and the Mavic Air, okay? Mm-hmm. And the Mavic Air was trying to do something on purpose, which I'm like you. I really love the Mavic Air. I had it for a couple of weeks to test out. Absolutely loved it, okay? But inherently, okay, the Wi-Fi issue in urban environments is just horrific.
I agree.
And I know for a fact one of my good friends over in the UK, Ian Jones, he said he sold his simply because of the noise. The noise factor just drove him crazy. I mean, it was just it was that bad. And then, of course, the battery life. I mean, you know, those are some things on it. But for you, okay, it absolutely works for you, which is fantastic.
It does, except the OcuSync. Like I get interruption 1,000 feet sometimes, 2,000 feet away. I've got interruption if I'm flying in trees for 500 feet. You know, so that's a bummer. I don't really use it to. You know, here's a feature that a lot of people don't even realize the Mavic Air does, the original, and I'm curious if the 2 will do it. Let's say you didn't bring your phone. You didn't bring a controller, you can still fly it. You can double tap. There's a button combination on the back. You turn it into a different mode by doing that button on the back of the drone, and you put your hand out and you take off, and you can make it go further away, closer, and have it follow you. As a
the Spark had that.
It becomes a Spark. The Spark had it first, so yeah, it's got the Spark built into it. That's interesting.
Well, you know, the one thing that I think DJI is doing here, and if you can try to understand their logic, okay. Because we were talking before the show, Shawn, and I saw Steve from Captain Drone. He left a comment on another video that says he believes that what they're going to be doing is, because it's going to have OcuSync 2.0, it's going to eventually be made compatible with a smart controller, and the DJI is going to add the DJI Fly app to the smart controller. And the whole line in thinking of this is to try to get people to upgrade from the Mavic Mini to the Mavic Air 2 now, because you know it's like a natural series and a natural progression.
Trust me, I get all of that.
I
get all that. I understand the progression of it. I understand what they're trying to do. I just think they should have called it something else. I'm never going to change that viewpoint.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Shawn, because look what they did with the Mavic Mini came out. They didn't call it Spark 2 or whatever. You know, no. They came up with a new name because of the new drone. But here they reversed their strategy with the Mavic Mini and gave a new drone an old drone's name. I mean, why are they switching gears in midstream here?
You know what I think I'm most bummed about is what this means is that I'll never see a true Mavic Air 2.
End of life, yep. End of life.
That's like it. They're all going to look the same. Yep. You know, every single. At least I could have made it a different color. You know?
And why not just, you know, there was a rumor there for a while that they were just going to call it Mavic. Not Pro, not anything, just Mavic, and that would have made sense, right? So you would have the Mavic Mini, you would have had the Mavic,
Yep.
and then
the Mavic Pro. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been mad at all if the next Air came out built off the body style. It could have changed. It could have been a different body style, but based off it, just like car progressions. Like we said, look at the Corvette now compared to what it was then. But if you look at the body style over time, the timeline, you can see that each one was based off the last one and so forth. And sometimes they even jumped back even further to base it off of them. But if they would have made, let's say they made a Mavic Air and they wanted to drop the Mavic name and just call it the Air 2, I would have been down with that. It wouldn't have bothered me.
Yeah.
But I get what they're doing. I understand they're now trying to, because the Mini sold like hotcakes. I mean, that probably sold, I don't know if that sold more than the original Mavic or not, but I would guess it might have.
Oh, I'm gonna guess, but in about a year's time, will have sold more units than any other particular model of DJI drones. I don't mean like the whole line of Phantoms or a whole line of anything, but just one model that'll be the best seller ever because of the price. And Bill's going to get what's the DJI guy? Frank Wang on the show someday.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Frank Wang on,
and then we'll get all the figures out of Frank or whatever.
We'll get the sales figures. Well, right now you can't. The Mavic Mini, like I know when the last time I was in Best Buy, but you go in there and it's available for order. Okay, and you go out to websites, available for order. And I know we talked with our good friend Lauren, who's on Tuesday night with us most of the time, and he said his store where he's at have to order it right now. I mean, it's one of those. And we all, I kind of thought, Shawn, it was like, you should be able to just walk right in, like Ron would say, walk right into Best Buy, go to the case and, get a tag and take it up and get one. No, you can't. You have to order it. So, I mean, yeah, it's still a very hot commodity right now.
Yeah, I actually might have a friend sending me one to mess around with and go make some flights with and play with it. So it has a great camera on it. I'll give it that. I mean, what blew my mind with the Mini is I'd seen a lot of videos. I passed on it because I got the Skydio 2 instead, because to me, I got a decent amount of drones and I keep getting one that's the same drone, just a little bit different. And I'm spending a lot of money on these things. No one sends me any of them for free. So to make videos, that's all on me. So that's why sometimes I'll have negative views and not, because if I paid for it and I have a negative view, I'm damn well going to express that view.
Right.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. But I didn't get the Mini because it's basically something I already had. I had the Air, I had the Zoom, I have the original Mavic. It didn't make a lot of sense where the Skydio 2 was different.
Well, of course, I know you've seen the Mini before, Shawn, but I'll tell you what it brings to the table for me that just blows my mind is it is even easier to carry around than that Mavic Air was. And what's stunning to me is when you have it in the air, you forget that it's that tiny little drone because it flies like a Mavic and it feels like a Mavic. Now,
unless you get in some heavy wind.
yeah, gust of wind comes up and But if not, beyond those kind of criteria, boy, it flies like a bigger Mavic.
So for two things for me was living here in the mountains. I'm at 9,200 feet. It's rated, what is it rated? 10,000.
That's right. I forgot. Yep.
Ed Ricker was here visiting not long, right before all this stuff happened, and Kelly from Shores from Ready Set Drone. We had Ed brought his Mavic Mini, and the first thing I saw when he pulled it out, I was like, "Oh crap! It's actually way smaller than it looks on TV or on YouTube." I mean, it's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. I mean, for those who haven't seen one in person, when you get the chance to see it, you're going to be like, "Whoa!" It's like tiny. It's tiny. It really is, and it does fly well, and it's got a great picture. However, we tested it at different altitudes, and it went higher than what they said it could, which surprised me. I wasn't expecting that because when I first started coming up to the mountains, I had a Blade 350 QX3, wrecked it because it couldn't stay at altitude up here. Oh, wow. I had a Blade Chroma, totally had it go haywire up here because of the altitude. And that was one of the things about the Mavic. I think it was rated to go up to 18,000 feet. I was like, I got to get that. But, so that's another thing that has kept me sort of on the fence about the Mini. And if you saw the video of us testing his Mini at different heights, whether it was on my channel or his channel, we both did a video of the same thing. We got up to Loveland Pass, which is at 12,000 feet. like takeoff point. We got it up about 5 feet in the air, and the wind just took it, and it just took off.
No.
Hit
That
my
was
car
classic.
around.
That was classic. I loved that shot.
Oh, it was so funny. I mean, we weren't going to lose it. He just landed it, but we're all like chasing it and running after it.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, Greg Pittman's got a question here for the panel here. He says he's trying to decide between a Mavic Air 2 or an Evo. And I don't know what Evo he means here. I'm assuming he means the new Evo because
it's Evo too, because he says he likes. Well, I've been engaging him with some conversation here, and he said, he likes the swappable camera. But and I got to say this from the footage that I've seen. I didn't watch Aldrin's video yet, but I did see some other clips of the Pro video, and I've also seen the 8K. I mean, it's okay, but I'll tell you what, the Mavic Air 2. For under $1,000, we're assuming more than likely it'll be. I mean, seriously, what you're going to get with that drone is going to be off the charts. Okay, and with Autel, and it's just for me personally, it's a no brainer. Okay, it's absolutely no brainer. You spend $1,400, $1,600 for a drone, or do I want to get all these bells and whistles for under $1,000? It's really a no-brainer. It really is.
I actually agree 200% with you, Bill. As much as I was bummed about the form factor, I can pretty much guarantee you it's going to not only be incredible for the price, but it's going to fly better. It's going to be such a more stable bird, and it's going to feel better, and you can dial in those controls. Not that you can't dial in controls on Evos, but of the Evo 2, which the videos I've seen show it to be similar in the way its flight characteristics are to the Evo 1. Now, here's a question. If anybody knows this, I haven't seen anyone show this yet. Maybe someone has and I missed it. On the Evo 2, on the Evo 1, the sensor on the rear would beep if you back up to something, but it wouldn't stop you. You could back right into that tree anytime you wanted. Anybody know if they fixed that on the Evo 2?
We don't. I mean, I've only watched Ken's videos recently on the Evo 2, and I don't know if he talked. I don't remember him talking or showing that at all.
Yeah, although it was fairly impressive, the obstacle avoidance. I'm trying to remember if he backed it up. He did a really good video. Ken did a great video comparing the Skydio 2 with the Evo 2.
Which one's better for travel? Yeah.
Blew it away.
I skimmed it real quick and was like, "Yep, it sucks as bad as I thought it did," and moved on.
but the thing is, you got to give it credit. It did work. It didn't fly into anything, and it didn't.
It's not supposed to fly into anything.
Well, of course.
And here's the thing: is these tests you see everybody do. And here's a big thing I see a lot of people do with auto tracking, active track, whatever. Everybody always flies high up, and they point the camera down and they track themselves, or even 10 feet, 20 feet up, and they're tracking themselves from behind. It's a boring way to track something, because I could park a car and put a drone above it and just stick my head out the window with a fan, and, well, if I had hair, and be like, "Wow, I'm moving," It's the same kind of shot. It's a boring shot. I don't know why people do it constantly. But if you're going to track, put them to the test. Put it in front of you. Put it at an angle to the right in front of you, even, so that it's sort of off to the side, so that, it might hit something, but it might not, and then test it, see what happens. Most DJI drones, when you do that, will instantly go around to the side of you and then get behind you. Where the Skydio, you put it in front of you, it stays in front of you. Now, I'm not saying that DJI drones eventually won't do that, but I haven't had luck with them doing that yet. Staying in front of you, that is.
Yeah.
One thing that we haven't mentioned about the Mavic Air 2 is the ADS-B or AirSense option that's going to be on there. And for Greg Pittman, just to let you know, okay, that's a game changer, because for me, where I fly, and I was sharing with Ron and Marcus, I live about, I'm going to say about 7 miles away from MacDill Air Force Base, okay? And a lot of times, right over our development where we live, it's kind of like a straight shot going in that direction, which is west, where on the property where we live. So, knowing when, say, an Air Force jet is like, flying at 300 feet, and knowing when a private helicopter is, flying at 400 or 500 feet, or private aircraft, for me, private aircraft are getting more and more in the area that I'm in. I mean, that's invaluable. Okay. I mean, like Marcus said, he's up at the Snake River Canyon, he's cranking his neck and looking and stuff. Don't have to do that anymore. Okay, it's there and it's right in front of you. Go ahead, Marcus.
Hey, well, John Coopy has a comment there that he says he doesn't want to be spied on by ADS-B. John, on the Mavic drone, it's a receiver only. Right. It's not telling anybody where your drone is. It's only telling you what aircraft are around you. And then Matt Cundiff makes a comment here. He's saying that Flight Path did an obstacle avoidance video with the EVO 2, and every sensor on the quad stopped it from hitting a wall. So,
and Sam Burns confirmed that too.
Okay.
Well, you know, also just as another side note with ADS-B, all private aircraft had to have ADS-B transceiver and receiver installed by January 1st this year. So your Cessnas, your Piper Cubs, all your helicopters, any private aircraft has to have that on there. It's federal law. So, you know, because when I got to see ADS-B, it was on a Matrice 200 series, and you know, we were seeing commercial aircraft like the airlines fly kind of a thing, you know, at 20,000, 30,000 feet, that kind of thing. But it didn't have the private aircraft on there. But now, because of that, it's going to have the private aircraft on there. And I can't tell you guys how invaluable that will be to a lot of us who live in areas where all of a sudden a plane's coming into view and you didn't count on it, and you know, you got to bring your drone back home. I mean, it's, you know, and save, you know, at the very least, and at the, you know, and also, you know, not even getting close to having an accident.
Now, Bill, did we get confirmation yet whether that'll be on the $799 version of the Mavic 2 Air?
No, we didn't. And Lauren's under embargo right now, so he really can't tell us. But my feeling is it's, you know, they're talking about two models, one that has it and one that doesn't. I think they're going to be on both, and I think the prices that you're going to see, that $799 is without the Fly More combo, and maybe the $949 is the Fly More combo. That's just my gut feeling. Blue Skyver just asked ADS-B how to use it if there are 10 planes close. Am I not air traffic controller? No, what it is Blue Skyver, just to let you know, is when you bring up your DJI Go 4 app or, you know, Fly app, whatever it is right here, all right, they'll look exactly like what a controller would see. It would have the plane flight number, the altitude, the heading, the direction, airspeed, all that kind of good stuff, and it'll be moving. Okay, it's not stationary; it'll be moving. It's just information that's provided to you, so you know that if one's in the area, you know, don't take off. You know, just stay put until they go by, or if they're up at 20,000 feet, you're good to go. You're not having a problem, so you can go ahead and take off. It just makes you very aware of your surroundings.
We skipped over this point about the EVO 1, and Shawn could probably confirm this. One of the big selling points of the EVO 1 was it didn't have flight restrictions. Is that true?
That is true.
Yeah, so that was a big selling point for people who lived in areas that were semi-near airports, whatever. Yeah, right.
It puts you to be a responsible human. You know?
Right.
You don't do something stupid because you can. All sad part is there's people out there that will. Like I was going to actually say, I think the new feature that you guys are talking about, if they can do it, awesome, cool. But myself personally, whether I fly in a city or out here in the mountains or wherever I'm flying, I'm never at a point that I'm so far away that if I heard something off in the distance or a plane coming that was low, that I couldn't get down low enough or get it out of the way. So again, I think we give people technology, and there's going to be that guy that uses it to do things they shouldn't do.
So if they offer two models of the Mavic Air 2, we'll say a $799 one without AD and a more expensive one with it on, you'd probably go with the one without to save a couple $100.
Probably myself, but I know how I fly, and I don't take stupid chances.
Yeah, I'm leaning the same way as you are on that, I think.
I got to be honest, right? We got to see their demo. Yeah. We got to see their videos. And we got to find out what they're really doing before I can make any kind of concrete decisions if I'm going to blow my money. I was this close to buying a new electric skateboard, to be honest. It's an off-road electric skateboard.
Oh, wow.
They only offered me 15% off though, and it's a $2,000 skateboard. So it's being closed for 6 weeks. I think I should save the money for now.
And it looks like your other skateboard is still doing well.
Oh yeah. I've got a cheap one. It doesn't go as far. It only goes 6 or 7 miles.
The range,
this new one would go 20-something miles.
Right.
On one battery charge, which is really impressive.
Right. Well, to kind of go down the list, I mean, kind of the stuff that we kind of have seen over and over, in the rumors for the Mavic 2 Air, we're getting 34 minutes of battery life, which puts it even above the Mavic 2 series a little bit. We're looking at OcuSync 2.0 by most of the rumors, which is make it or break it for a lot of people, whether they're going to buy it or not. We hear 4K 60. And somebody asked in chat, and I think it was Bill Thomas, are we hearing HDR video or not HDR video?
I would be surprised if they don't have it, to be honest. But, I guess we'll see. Ron, I am hearing that they're going to be 2 different models. And then the Fly More is on top of that $999, like a $249 or something like that for the Fly More package. Remember how the 2 came out and it was a separate thing you had to buy? It wasn't like, oh, you could buy the whole Fly More kit. No, you bought the drone and then you bought the Fly More battery pack and stuff separately. Right. That's what they're supposed to be doing for this one too.
Okay. And the only thing that's got me a little, I hate the word use disturbed, but that they're not going to use our trusted DJI Go 4 app. They're going to use the Fly app, which they created for the Mini, which is a very, I don't mean to use this word badly, but a dumbed down version of the Go 4 app with very limited camera features. It's very simplified for a first-time drone user, and even a simplified interface for somebody who just wants to get in the air and get shooting, but it lacks a lot of the camera features that a lot of us look forward to. Does that kind of, I know you don't have the Mini, so you probably haven't played around with the Fly app that much, but do you have thoughts on that?
I've seen it. I haven't played around with it much. Like I said, but I have seen it. I don't quite understand why they're doing that either, unless they're going to maybe do an update. Maybe that comes out that night. Maybe they have it all scheduled to go live and it changes and adds some new things to it. They got some genius programmers over there, way smarter than I am, so I'm sure they could pull it off if they wanted to.
Right. And another thing, how about the change of the controller where they put the phone on top of the controller, much like a lot of toy drones, instead of on the bottom? A lot of people, they get adapters from their DJI drones so they can put the phone on top. So that's kind of a user thing. Is that important to you at all? Or
okay, so when the Mavic first came out, you guys remember the first Mavic came out, that was a big thing. Everyone freaked out about, oh my God, my phone's under it. What's the point of that? I mean, it was huge. The internet was just, they always got to have something to get complained about. That was the big thing they complained about. It never was a big issue to me being under or over. I mean, I had plenty of ones that were over. I've had plenty of ones. The Blade Chroma had a huge screen built into the actual controller. The controller was like this big with a screen in it. It was huge. And that was at the bottom. So I fly both ways. So it's not a make it or break it for me. I'm curious, though, in this new controller, 2 things. One, is it going to be one of those cheapy feeling springs that pulls up? You know what I'm talking about? So that sucks. Hopefully not. Hopefully it feels as quality as the hinges did on the regular Mavics. And 2, did they really have to make it so wide or long to be able to make it to fit on the top? Couldn't they have made some hinges that pulled open from the top or done something? I mean, it seems like they could have designed it differently.
Bill has an answer for you on that.
Yeah, here's my answer for this. Okay, if you look at the form factor, and this was our friend Lauren kind of alerted to us, it's almost exactly the same size and shape as the smart controller. Okay, and one of the things that makes sense is if the smart controller is indeed going to be compatible with that most people will opt to maybe sell their the controller that they get with the Mavic Air 2, or that the smart controller will just fit in a slot that's designed for this in a case. I mean, it'll be kind of seamless as far as that's concerned. So that's the only thing I can think with that. And I agree with you. I hope and pray that it's not just like like our Hudson drones where you pull that plastic up and it feels like it's $1, you can get it at the dollar store kind of a thing, and put your phone in there. And the other thing, and I know Ron and Marcus and I touched on this, Shawn, and I wanted to get your take on it too. Okay, you put your phone on there, and I think I know you have a Android, right?
Now I do. I used to use an iPhone with most
Okay.
of my time.
Well, you know, the way the buttons are on the phone, I mean, it makes it impossible to hit the buttons on the phone if you need to do something on there, you know, after you get it in the cradle. It's so frustrating. I know for me, you know, I have a Galaxy Note 10, and in order, for example, to fly it with a Mini, I have to kind of reverse it and put the cable over there on that side, but it blocks my, you know, button to be able to bring the screen up, kind of a thing. And it's so freaking frustrating because you got to do a bunch of that stuff before you actually put it in. So what are your thoughts on something like that?
I have the Galaxy S10 Plus, so there's no buttons on it except for on the side.
Right.
So I can still get to those. So if I do need to stop in the middle and let my drone hover, the big pain for me is I got to slide down from the bottom of the phone, and with these edgeless screens, the regular Mavic controllers sort of go over the screen just a little bit, so it's really, really hard to get into the edge of that screen to flip it up. So that is annoying. So I'll definitely say that. But everyone I know in real life likes the portability of the Mavic line, no matter which Mavic you have. And this controller looks like it's about so big.
It does.
I mean, then you throw a phone on it, and it's even bigger. So I think if they're gearing it towards the smart controller people, it's a much, much, much smaller crowd of people that use the smart controller to fly.
True. One of the things I wanted to answer, Above and Beyond Drones has left a couple of comments, and he's talking about ADSB, constant pop-ups on screen and warnings, with warnings as the planes get closer. If it's like it was on the Matrice series, okay, you have the option of being able to shut that off, okay, so you don't constantly get that. I mean, you know, if you go out, let's say Marcus is going out the Snake River Canyon, and there's just like absolutely nobody there, or Shawn, you know that there's nobody there, you don't have to turn it on, okay? It's an option, and I
we know it's an option though. We haven't. Has anyone told?
As far as being able to turn it on and off, I would assume that it would be like that because, you know, I can tell you this: your screen will get busy in a hurry. All right, with something like that. So in order for, I mean, if you're especially using a smartphone, okay, using an iPad or you know, the smart controller, it's probably not as bad, but okay, I would think that you'll have the option of being able to toggle that on and off, because look at all the examples, okay, like the grid lines that you would have on the Go4 app, you can toggle those on and off. You know, have some other features on there, you can toggle them on and off. I would think it would be the same way here. This is just my opinion based upon what I've seen before from other drones.
Yeah, you know, and DJI is pretty good about, well, on the Go4 app, they're pretty good about it. I don't know how they are on the Fly about having options. You know, if they're using the Fly app, maybe they have a lot less options, and you can't toggle it on and off. I also thought that you'd be able to toggle on and off the avoidance on the Skydio, but not yet.
Not yet.
You know, it's hard to put things past these guys. You know, they're so smart, and they get all stuck in their own little world creating these products, thinking they know what we all want. They do some market research, come back, think they know everything, and then they release it, and the masses like it, but then little things get left out here and there, and they just keep going with it. And it's just how all businesses are. You know, some things are going to be left out and some things aren't.
Yeah. My friend Michael at Philly Drone Life, he also said he got to fly the Matrice one time, and he kind of concurs with Jim at Above and Beyond Drones. He thought the air traffic popping up on the screen disturbed his flight because he was so far below those planes that were on the screen that, you know, they were no concern to him, but yet it kind of bothered him that those alerts kept coming up. So he kind of, you know, agrees with what Jim's saying here. But again, we'll have
let me give you the obverse view, Ron and panel. So I have been in a couple of situations where planes have come by at high speed, and where I have, like flying in the Snake River Canyon, I've always either had my drone landed or already over the edge of the canyon or something. But there's guys that like to fly that canyon like Star Wars, right, in their private planes, and boy, they can come through there fast. And if I could get an advanced alert of one of those guys is a couple miles off, I would just feel so much better. Just like Bill said, my head is on a swivel when I'm out there. And if I hear an airplane engine, I am looking around and I'm getting eyes on that guy just as quick as I can. But it does interrupt your flight too, right? You're in the middle of filming something and whatever. The other example I'll give you is I fly quite a bit out at Lucky Peak Reservoir, and we've got an Army Reserve base close by, and they fly those Black Hawk helicopters. And like I said, I've never come close to one ever. I've always had my drone landed or been way away, but they'll come flying across that reservoir in one of those Black Hawks, and I don't know how fast they're going, but it's fast.
So I do agree with you. I agree with Bill, Marcus, all you guys, that if this comes on it, it's not a bad thing. It's definitely, and I hope that Bill's right that it's toggle. You can toggle it on and off, because if you are out in the middle of nowhere, turn it off. And if you're somewhere where there is heavy traffic, turn it on. That would be great. That would be the best of both worlds right there.
Yeah, and like I said, I've never even come close to having a close call. I'm just saying it would give me peace of mind. That's all. That's what I'm saying.
And that goes a long way, Marcus, because like I'll tell you what gave me the most peace of mind about flying was when I got State Farm insurance on my drone.
Oh, there you go.
I got rid of that DJI Care crap because that stuff sucked, and I got State Farm. It was $60 a month, and I could get a check if I crashed my drone, lost it, got stolen from me. I don't have to even bring the drone back. Nothing. I just tell them it's gone. Boom, a check for the full amount. Even years later, I could crash my original Mavic Pro, and I'd still get a check for what I spent for it. You know, way back then.
Right.
That might have been that. But yeah, you know, so that boosts your confidence in the way that you're flying incredibly. You know
what boosts my confidence, Shawn? That freaking Skydio 2. That son of a gun.
Yeah,
that's a confidence booster.
Did you guys see the other day I went out and I did like a little casual flight and I filmed it, and I was by a stream and just cruising around this stream, and oh man, just the perfect environment for it. And Skydio actually commented on that video that moving water like that works just as well as like a tree or something else. It's that standstill water that has a little bit of it.
Right. Bingo. If it's moving water, it's going to see it. You're absolutely correct there. And those are the kind of things that we can do with that drone that you can do confidently. That I'd be nervous as hell, even with my Mavic 2, trying to do that. Even though it has 360 obstacle avoidance, I wouldn't be as confident as I am with that Skydio.
Yeah, in that spot that I don't know if you saw the video, but in that spot where I was sitting down flying, it's just like, you know, snow melt coming down, tons of water. There was a bend in the river and a bridge. And honestly, I don't think I would have done that at all. Do we have two Bills?
And we got two Bills. That's pretty cool.
Bill has a twin brother we didn't know about.
Two for the price of one. I think my wife would probably head for the hills if that was
Bill's evil twin left.
That's right. Long gone.
Well, you know, this in the chat they're saying something. You know, Bill, if they have this on both models, and if you're able to turn it on and off, just like we can set our high altitude. What do you guys have your altitude set for on your DJI products? What do you have your top altitude set at? I'm curious.
Oh, it's 400 feet.
420 meters or 400 feet. Yeah.
400 feet. Yeah.
You want
I never even get close to that.
Mine's 1,600.
So now Billy Kyle makes an argument for that too. That what you don't want to do is limit yourself to be able for obstacle avoidance and stuff. He says then it's up to you to make sure you don't break the rules or whatever.
The reason mine's 1,600 is because, again, I live in the mountains. So if I'm standing here and I'm following this tree line and the mountain's going up to 1,600 feet, but I'm still maybe 20 feet above the trees, I'm 100% legal still. As long as you're above ground level, I'm only maybe 50 to 100 feet above ground level, although I'm still 1,600 feet above takeoff point. Now, I don't turn around and fly it back like at 1,600 feet and then come down. I always come back down and stay above the ground level, the mountains. And also, that's one thing you have to worry about. I forget, there's some kind of vortex. I can't remember the full name of it, that up here in thinner air that you can, and this is what happened to my Blade Chroma, my Blade 350, is you get up high. If you start coming down in a straight down motion, then it makes a vortex under it in thinner air, and all of a sudden your drone does this, and it just falls because there's no air to support the propellers.
Yeah, it gets in its own prop wash and doesn't get lift anymore. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. I guess it happens to real helicopters too, but
there's a name for it. Quadcopter 101 he explains that every once in a while in his videos, and you're right. It's something vortex.
Yeah, if your drone ever just starts doing this, fly forward, sideways, something as fast as you can.
Just get out of
the spot.
Yeah.
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 I've got a video online if you want to see it. I know you can share videos. You want me to find it?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
You guys talk
John
about
Coopy just said vortex ring syndrome.
Yeah, vortex rings. Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to play a little bit of. Let's see if I can do this here. Let's see here. Add a share screen till you find it. I'll play. I got your video here. That's Shawn's video where he talks about why the Mavic Air 2 is not the upgrade he wanted, and I put the link in the show notes here. So if anybody wants to go check Shawn's video out, the links in the show notes were the one where he talks about the Mini. While he's busily looking, while Shawn's looking for that video, just do a little couple show notes here. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going live on Rotor Talk Live with Bill, the drone reviewer. I'm sure we got a little. Bill, you want to give us a preview of some hot topics for the show?
Absolutely. We're going to still be talking about the Fimi X8 SE 2020 and any updates on that. Also, we're gonna spend some time on Mavic Air 2 and taking a look at what everybody's saying, and is this a drone that people should buy? We're going to spend some time talking about that because I think it's important, and I think it's a great topic. And we saw tonight, Greg Pittman. Should I get this or the Evo 2? We're going to have some good, healthy discussion about that, and then we're going to kind of give everybody a preview of what to expect next Monday night. When we're going to do our shows. It's going to be a fun time. I'm really looking forward to it, to be able to do this live. I think it's great. I'm going to have both my Best Buy panel and my DJI panel open, so it's going to be fun, and we're going to have a good time, and it's something to look forward to. And I think that's the one thing I think here that we need to kind of emphasize, because if anything, we need things to get our mind off of what's going on in the world today, because if not, we'll drive ourselves crazy. And this is a perfect distraction for me. So I'm looking forward to that.
Ron, can I give a plug for the Drone Seekers?
You go right ahead, Marcus. You have a big show appearance coming up.
The Drone Seekers are going to be live again next Sunday it would be at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, my time, on Sunday afternoon. It's been a long time since the Drone Seekers have done a live show. Steve Gardner got a hold of me, asked me if I would be a panelist, and I've said, of course I will. And there's going to be a lot of the people from the Drone Seekers. I think it's going to be a fairly good-sized panel, 4 or 5 people. I know Steve Gardner will be on there. I'll be on there. Jackie Akers is going to be a panelist in that show. And Terry Hawes is going to be on there as well. And I don't know who else, but it should be interesting and fun to see the Drone Seekers back on the air again.
Well, I won't miss that one. We'll definitely. You said 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock your time.
3 o'clock Eastern Time.
Okay, next Sunday.
Next Sunday, 1 o'clock Mountain Time, which is what Shawn and I are on.
Thank you. And a little preview for ZinoNation next week, or probably MavicAirNation episode number 2 next week. We're going to have DeMarco Moro on us. That's FSU grad, and he was in the chat a little bit earlier. He's coming to the show, and he's bringing his buy button with him. So,
yeah.
So, Shawn, did you find your video yet?
Yeah, I linked it to you in the chat.
Okay, I will cancel the other video out here. And
what's interesting about that video is when I made the video about the Mavic 2, I remembered like last year I had an insider give me all these tips and pointers that were going to come on the Mavic 2 prior to it being put on the shelf, and then the Mavic Mini taking its place. And I did a side-by-side with the leaks that I found, recently, and put them. That's how the video was done, one, and then I jumped back to the one from a year ago and then to now, and it was like 90% dead on. So that was pretty awesome.
That was great. Yeah,
I was pretty stoked that my guy was that right, and he's the same one that's told me that there's going to be 2 models with the side kit of the Fly More bundle. So we'll see if he's right again.
So did he give you a clue of what the 2 models, the difference between the 2 models?
No, he wouldn't tell me crap this time.
Yeah. Can I tell you what I'm hoping for? I'm hoping for either a smart controller or one that is like a smart controller.
That would make sense if one came with a smart controller and one came with a cheaper one, or maybe one comes with a zoom and one doesn't.
Now, here's the thing, okay? And I'm going to throw this in here. All right. Remember, Lauren was talking about he kind of was alluding to a new smart controller. I don't know. Did you guys remember that on one of the shows? He was talking about there could be another smart controller coming, and I'm like, okay, my ears kind of like perked up when I heard that. So maybe they have a new smart controller in the offering with this too. Who knows?
Could be. That would be great. Do you want me to fast forward to a certain point or just
around 2 minutes?
Pardon?
Around 2 minutes in.
Okay, we're probably there now.
Yeah, because this is like I said, this is my Blade 350 QX. What is the date on that? 2015.
2015. Yeah.
I fly a lot better now than I used to. I promise.
John Coopy mentioned in the chat here that he had the Blade also.
Says he still has it.
Still has it.
No, mine. I'll show you another video. What happened after this one? It's like a 15-second video. So that is Ski Cooper. That's a ski resort, a really small mom and pop ski resort here in the mountains. Now, if I had my current setup, I would take off from that point, fly over that, and have no problem. This thing's connection was just that, so like it would die.
The Zino 2 must have borrowed the camera from the Blade. Did you see it handling the exposure in the sun real bad?
Yeah, right. and notice it's sort of orangey. Everything's got a little orangey.
Orange, yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Wright says he still has a Blade 350 QX also.
Oh, wow.
I'll tell you, I liked that more than the old Phantom 2. I think it was around the Phantom 1, Phantom 2 when those two were competing. And I like the body style of the original Blade 350 more. And then the Blade Chroma, I didn't actually like at first. It looked like some weird cruise liner boat or something. But the Blade Chroma was actually the first real portable drone before the Mavic. You could take the legs off. You could slide the camera off. Take the props off real easy. Here it is. Watch, it's starting to wreck right there. See it? See it going back and forth? Did you see the legs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at it.
And so I was on my way down, and it was starting to do it. And, at the time, I just got these things. I didn't know. And it just got worse and worse as I was trying to come down. And then it just starts doing that. And I lost connection, and that was it. And I just fell out of the sky.
Oh, wow.
And then I can show you this quick. This is like the next day, taking it back. We put it back together as best we can and tried to take off again. And all it would do is this. Like, I just put the link in the chat again.
All right. Hold on. Let's see. Here we go.
Yeah, that was fascinating. So like you said, I wonder if you'd have gone full stick forward if you could have recovered.
In theory, I should have been able to. But, being new to the hobby at the time and thin air. I mean, well, it was a brand new hobby. I mean, that's, prior to that, all I had flown was airplanes.
And your instinct would be to bring it down.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, it's doing something wrong. Get it down. Yeah. And that just makes it worse.
Yeah.
Almost there.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, John, I actually had, I'm trying to pick it up, and that's all it would do. Just
let me back up. It took me so long to get started that we missed the hold on. Let me replay it.
So anytime I started it after that, it just did this. So I called up them, and at the time I didn't know anything about the Vortex thing, and I was just livid, I'm like, my damn thing, the piece of crap, blah blah blah, And they sent me a new one. Their customer service was amazing. They sent me a new one for free.
Wow.
Yep. And And then I went out and took my brand new one out in the back, and I'm flying it over a big field behind my house back before I moved here. I probably wasn't 100 feet away from my house, and all of a sudden it just falls out of the sky. And so I called him. I spent hours searching through the woods trying to find it, couldn't find it. And they hinted to me online that maybe it had a bad cell in the battery for it to lose power like that, which John says he has one dropping out of the sky, similar video. I'm not sure. He says power failure, so maybe he had the same thing. But yeah, it just fell out of the sky, and then I was livid on that. So then they gave me a Blade Chroma at 50% off because they didn't make the Blade 350 anymore. So I picked up my Blade Chroma. I think it was like $400. And I flew that one for a while until I came up the mountains, and it was fine up until the mountains. And then it had some weird issues, and I just didn't trust it anymore after that. Sold it to somebody else who flew it. The nice thing with that, you could turn off all GPS, all everything, and fly it in what we call ADI mode.
ADI mode.
You guys, it was called acrobatic mode or something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but that was fun. That drone you could actually do flips and do stuff with, and it flew. You could take off the legs and take off the camera and just fly it around. It was a lot of fun.
Wow. Yeah, I remembered. I never had it, but I remember seeing on videos and hearing a lot of people talk about it. So yeah, it's a good throwback Monday videos there, whatever. So really cool.
We're looking back and we're looking forward.
Yeah, at the same time. What do you got new coming up on the channel, Shawn?
I'm actually editing a video right now. Let's see, I'm editing, I think 5 videos right now. I've just put up, you guys might like this because you're sort of interested in that GoPro Max. Just today, this morning, I put up a video showing how you actually edit the footage, the 360 footage with the iPad. Yeah. And it's a pretty easy to follow video. It's not very long. So if you're considering one, I know you guys have talked about it, that might help you make or break that idea. Because
the editing process is key, is almost as key as the hardware is with these things.
It is, but I mean, you'll see the color on this. It's all in auto mode. I'm not post processing the colors in these cameras. I am all about full auto. Like the better it gets, the less time I have to spend editing. Because again, I'm editing 5 videos right now, so the less I can do to make them look good, the better. Let's see, what else do I got going on right now? I'm working on an air hangout flight where I'm taking the Air 1 and flying out over some of the mountains and lake here and just editing it all together. So it's like we're all hanging out and it's live kind of, but it's not live. I think those videos are doing pretty good right now because some of us can't get out of the house, and I live in a pretty area. It's nice. So these kind of videos, I'm just hanging out, shooting the crap back and forth with people, pretending I'm doing my best to film it in a way that as if someone's there talking to me, like so. And then I will do the premiere. That way, there's a chat, and I can actually jump on with everybody, and we can all talk like while it's playing. I'll just hang out.
How do you like doing those premieres?
I like hanging out with everybody. I don't do a lot of live videos. I did a first live video in a long time the other day. And that was pretty cool because people gave me super chats.
There you go. There you go.
Like, oh, that's pretty cool. I need that right now because I'm unemployed, so it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So I actually have been looking to buy this little mini processor thing called the Black Magic, I think it's called. And it's sold out everywhere, and it lets me hook up a couple cameras at once and then hook that to OBS to be able to then play stuff off my computer, to have a guest, to have a couple cameras, maybe one set up overhead if I'm unboxing, one set up over here, and start doing some live stream maybe every other week or something.
Right.
Problem is, it's probably going to be on a Monday. So once work is open, that's when I'm closed. So that's the only time.
Right.
So my apologies ahead of time for that.
No worries.
It's a free country.
No worries. Plenty of viewers out there for all of us. So no worries. So it sounds like you got a lot of stuff coming up. Marcus, what do you have coming up on your channel this week?
Well, I'm working. I'm putting the final touches on the. I'm going to call it the lawnmower video. So that was kind of fun with this. Using both the Mavic 2 and the Skydio to follow along there. And I have another. I just released a Skydio 2 video today using the controller, and I made a couple of dumb mistakes, but I show them all on screen so that hopefully others can avoid that. And then I've got another Skydio 2 video coming up, just using the phone as the controller. And I know you've done that a few times, Ron. It is, I'm going to say that the Skydio 2 is the only drone I've ever flown that I'm comfortable flying it with just my iPhone.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And of course, then I'm going to mention it again. Don't forget Drone Seekers on Sunday night, 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Shawn, do you have a question for Marcus?
Oh, I did. I didn't realize that was his lawnmower video. So yeah, you'll have to send it to me so I can check it out.
Yeah.
I'll send you a link. Yeah.
Look, Sam Burns says he lists the model numbers for the Mavic Air 2. He said the E3W has ADS-B and the other does not. This will probably be the price difference.
Wait, say again?
He said MA2UE1N and MA2UE3W are the model numbers of the Mavic Air 2. The E3W has ADS-B and the other does not. This will probably be the price difference.
There's something we haven't talked about the Mavic Air, and it was the first drone, I think, by DJI to have, what do they call it, APAS, APAS?
Right. You're right.
Right.
Yeah. Supposedly, this one's going to have APAS version 2.
And there's also rumors out there, even though it doesn't have a camera on the top, Marcus and I were reading rumors over the weekend that they'll have the two, the cameras on the front and back, and they'll be extra wide, so they'll be able to see such a wide field of view that they may be able to take care of, some of the extra obstacle avoidance without having all the side sensors and the top sensors that we see on the Mavic 2 series.
And that's my guess too, is if they're going to have APAS 2, which if the people who are watching and they're not familiar with APAS, that's part of the obstacle avoidance setup for the Air, and now it's on the Mavic 2, Mavic 2 Zoom or Pro and all that. You turn it on or off, and you either get the regular active track or it gets one that helps it sort of go around trees and stuff with the APAS on. It works so on the Mavic Air and the Zoom and all that, but if it's version 2, are they trying to get it so it somewhat works against the Skydio? Or do they really need this 360 sensors or whatever the field of view is on the Skydio cameras? I can't remember what that field of view is coming off those cameers.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember either. Yeah.
But we know the Skydio doesn't have any side sensors, but yet it sees everything because of those wide wide view sensors, whatever they're called.
So that's something I'm actually interested in. I haven't heard many people talking about that.
No,
everyone says, "Oh, I was hoping that it was going to compete with the Skydio," and it might, and we just have not heard that yet.
Good point, Bill. What do you have coming up on your channel? We already talked about Road Talk Live tomorrow night. You got any other videos coming up, or
I'm gonna be coming up with some more details on the Mavic Air 2. So kind of stick around for that. I think it's going to be good. I think it'll get people. It will generate some interest. Let me put it that way. I think it's important for us as drone reviewers, and I really like what Shawn did, because Shawn went against pretty much the grain with his video, but in a great way. He presented the facts, and for him, and I agree. I love the Mavic Air, the original one. When I had it, it was a blast. I had a lot of fun. I never had the issues that people had. Of course, it sounded like 10,000 bees, but if you can get over that, I mean, I really liked my time with it. I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm gonna, that's kind of gonna be, sort of where I'm going with this video, and also too looking at the progression of DJI and why they've come to this point, and and what the future could behold. So it's going to be a good video. I think people will really like it. And then I'm probably going to be doing an update video on the Fimi X3 SE XE 2020 when SE 2020 when I get that information from Banggood. I'm going to be putting out some more information on that. So stay tuned. So I'm kind of excited for what's coming up beyond tomorrow night.
Looking forward to it, Bill.
What's funny, Bill, is that the video that I put out, some people watch enough of it to realize I'm not actually bashing on the product. It's going to be a good product. And then I get comments like it's so funny. Let me read you guys a couple of these comments. This guy here says, he just commented, this is within 43 minutes. You should know that DJI doesn't work only for you. There are different people out there and different needs. If you don't want it, okay, but don't say the drone is a mistake by DJI. I mean, come on, buddy, relax.
Well, just hey, Shawn, imagine if that was Ken Dono and somebody left that comment for him.
Yeah, he'd tell him to suck it.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't use any word
too. But it's just it's not worth it to me to get. Sometimes I'll be so nice to him, I'll kill him with kindness,
Right.
And then they'll turn around and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm an asshole. I'm sorry." And you're like, "Yeah, you sort of are, man."
Yeah. Get a sense of humor.
My response was just, "Please lay off the dope," and then I say a little bit more after that. But I got to start out with something. And then here's a funny one, and this is funny because I do this. See, I'm doing it right now. Imagine if this guy couldn't move his hands when he spoke. And of course my response is, I guess I'd be talking without moving my hands. Do I win a prize? I try to answer every single comment someone leaves. I try so hard to do that. I probably get back to 90 to 95% of every comment on every video I put out, which can be a pain sometimes.
Oh yeah, it definitely can, especially as you get more and more comments and subscribers. It definitely can be.
There'll be a time where I won't be able to, I'm sure. I hope it comes to a time, not because I don't want to, because I'd like that I have a community built up as well. And it's an interesting community because it ranges from all you guys and drone people to snowboard people to people that just like mountain views.
Yeah, so, I mean, it shocks you sometimes. I watch, you know who Devin Jovi is?
Huh?
I commented on one of his videos recently, and he actually like gave me a one-word response to it. And Devin has like 300 subscribers, but he actually I know he's home locked in, but you still there's somebody with that many subscribers actually like responded to my comment. I was like blown away.
He's a nice guy. I met him at a big convention last year, and his channel, actually the stuff he does, he'd be like the perfect guy for me to like do a collaboration with.
Yeah,
I think our stuff is similar,
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird though because this video, I didn't realize it was going to blow up like this. The Mavic Air one.
You never know.
I mean, look at.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's why I contacted this morning. I was looking at that video and I said, this video is it's like going mini viral here or whatever. I said we better get him on the show.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's crazy because and then I posted a video today that's got not even 100 views.
Yeah.
So it's hard, man. If you're out there and you're trying to build a YouTube channel, I give you one piece of advice. I don't follow it myself at all. So take my advice because I know for a fact that if you don't follow it like me, then it's much harder to grow your channel. If you keep your content to the narrowest subject, then you're going to grow faster than if you spread it all out. I personally just can't do it. I'm not like banking on YouTube to be a way of life or a living or, cash. So I do what makes me happy most of the time. And that's a lot of the reason you'll see one video jump from snowboarding to 360 cameras to drones to, I did make the new channel. The new channel has started, that nature channel that I was talking to you guys about. I actually started it. I've got 4 or 5 meditation, nature, relaxing videos on that, and that I tested out on my channel, and they did okay. A couple got 1,000 views, which is for that kind of content. I was really surprised. But I am now putting that content completely only on one channel, and next winter I've decided I'm going to actually take all the snowboard content into its own channel, so that this channel, my channel, will just be my life and how I use cameras. Whether they
that makes sense. I like that idea. I'm going to go out and sub your other channel here as soon as we get done.
Yeah, I'll throw you a link to it real quick because I want to try to hit that 1,000 subscriber count as quick as possible.
Encourage the viewers right now to go ahead and sub Shawn's other channel too as well, please.
Yeah, it's not just going to be drone nature stuff, although there are going to be some drone stuff. You know what? I'll share that video and you guys can share that. So I did like a little 13-minute real pretty drone video stuff. I mean, there's some gorgeous shots in this video.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
But I learned something by making that video because typically you guys who were at Spin Up and I talked about the 7-second rule and all that stuff. Well, I broke my own rule on this video, which I just threw it in there for you. But I broke my own rule and I held shots for 30 seconds, 45 seconds. And typically when I fly, in my head, I'm flying knowing that I need at least a 7 to 13 second gap. So I'll hold a shot for that, but I don't usually hold it much longer. Usually I get it and I'm like, okay, I can get something out of that. But making this slow video with just nice, pretty music and holding these long shots, it's going to completely change the way I have to fly to get those shots. So it's going to be a learning experience for me to make this new nature type drone channel.
Wow, you just got a new subscriber right before my very eyes.
There you go.
I appreciate it. Did I post the channel or did I post the? Oh, I posted the channel. Here's
the channel. That's fine.
I put the link in you said in the chat.
Gotcha. Here's the drone one. If you this opening shot alone on this drone one blows my mind. I mean, it's just so beautiful, man. Like the fact that I can just walk outside and be a couple minutes away from like a shot like this first 30 seconds.
Okay, hold on. Let's see here.
Yeah, Ronald, GoPro did cut a bunch of jobs, but they're also changing their business market. They are going to be doing it more online, how the Insta360 plan is. So although they cut a bunch of jobs, I'm not so worried about them closing out a lot of people. I'm like, aren't you worried that GoPro is going under? And if their business market has changed to mostly online, they're going to actually have an excess of money for a while. So hopefully if their next camera is done correctly, rewind it to that opening shot where it's like all white and then it just comes out.
It takes so long to get it set up. I always miss the opening shots here. There we go.
So, but like, and then turn on the volume for a second and you can hear it's just pretty music.
Hold on. Get back here again.
That's loud. I mean, like you can turn the music off, Ron. It's just to show an example.
I mean, that's great, Shawn. I mean, that's just awesome.
Now, where's this location, Shawn?
This is in the mountains in Colorado, Rocky Mountains. So a lot of people will freak out. And I'm probably like 50 feet away from my drone right now. Like it looks like I'm super high up there, but I'm standing on one of these peaks above the clouds, So, I might go through little bits and pieces of them, but I'm as high as the drone pretty much, So there's all this you've got these people that, there's rules about flying in clouds or close to clouds. What is it, like 400 feet away or 500 feet away from clouds? I can't remember what it is because, I call this fog. I fly into fog. But it makes for a beautiful shot. Look at that.
It does.
I mean, and no planes are supposed to be flying anywhere near the peaks of those mountains. I'm like I said, I'm climbing to the top of these mountains. So with those shots, that's how those get achieved. It's not like I'm flying 1,600 feet from there. Those are actually a road. I can drive up to 1,200 feet, and then I can hike up for about 30 minutes, and I'm on the peaks.
Now, is that a frozen lake there you're flying over?
Yep. You'll see it right at the end here. It's actually not frozen all the way. Like if my drone crashed right there, I probably would not walk on it to go get it unless it was midwinter, and then it would be frozen. You can actually walk the whole thing. Now there's some houses. I don't know if I pan to show them, but there's some houses on the right up there that are, oh God, I wish I could afford those.
Wow.
Well, so this is like the new nature channel is going to be stuff like this, as well as meditation sounds, like river stream sounds. I'm going to do a lot of hiking this summer and just set cameras up to get like high frame rates. That way I can slow it down to get slow motion water. I've got a little audio recorder that I'll set up to get the audio. And then I'm going to take my drone and hike away from that so the noise doesn't get into that. And then I'll go fly and get some shots. And it'd be so nice to make these nature videos.
Cool. I wish you, well with the channel. I mean, it's some gorgeous footage here.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's hard to beat like shots like that. This is
yeah,
true.
Especially when you live like somebody lives at sea level.
I mean, I lived at sea level for years. If you're close enough to the ocean, you can get some crazy, awesome shots there too.
Mm-hmm.
One thing you learn about this is a lot of these shots that are like this, I can get with a GoPro. I can get with a regular camera because I'm already so high, you can't tell that it's a drone or not. Obviously, through the clouds you can't, but that's one of the things I like to do is to do low flying. So even if I'm close or high up like this, you'll notice that I get closer to these mountains and to these objects a lot of the times because otherwise they just look like they just look like so far away and like this. Look how close I'm getting to this one.
Oh, incredible.
So, you know, and depending on where I've hiked, I'll get closer. Like this one, for example, I'm actually standing right to the right off screen there. I'm standing like right out of the shot.
Cool.
And that took about 4 hours to get to the top.
Oh, you hiked up all the way. Yeah.
That was a long hike.
Incredible.
All right, so I've been hogging the subject here.
No, it's good. It's all good stuff.
No, this is great stuff. It's great stuff. But we've been on for almost 2 hours, so we really better kind of wrap things up here. We want to thank you again for coming on the show tonight. I know the people in the chat really enjoyed you. There's a lot of great comments in there. You know, back and forth about your most recent video. You know, a lot of people really, you know, respected your opinions on you know, the changes in the Mavic Air too, and you know, it's sad that they have to change the body style, but you know, like you said, that's all, you know, corporate thinking, what they think is going to do better. But who knows? It could be like kind of retro cars. Maybe years down the road, they could retro the Mavic Air body style, whatever, and sell it as you know, like a limited edition with all the, you know, the guts of a new drone inside of it.
Yeah, that very well could, and then it would get the nostalgic people buying all over again.
Yeah.
Sort of like when the RC crowd did that with the RC10 associated RC10 remote control car. It was one of like the first really badass that and the Hornet, RC10 and the Hornet for racing and stuff way back in the 80s, and they reproduced it many years later, and everybody that was older went out and just bought them up like
yeah. So again, I want to thank everybody who joined us in the chat tonight. You know, have you hung in there for a long time? I thank you very much. I'd read all the names off, but we'd be here for another 10 minutes or whatever. But you know, again, I want to thank everybody, and I talked to a lot of you people, you know, kind of online too. So good. Thank you all so much, and thanks to Marks and Bill for their great contributions to the show. And we're going to get out of here, and we're going to see you next week on that special show. Did you know this, Shawn? During the middle of our shows, when the Mavic 2 Air is released, they must have timed it for our show or whatever.
Right.
And we're going to be there. We're going to have our buy buttons in front of us, and if the specs look great, they could have a couple orders. Who knows? We could be the first people to order the drone.
You know, you might like have better luck of just sitting there hitting refresh, right? I forgot that I didn't realize it was Monday. I knew it was coming soon, but it's next Monday, huh?
Yeah,
Week from today.
9:30 East time, our time, which I believe is 7:30 for you.
Yeah.
So you know,
8:43 down here.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I just let me say one more thing to all the people that do catch this and saw my Mavic Air video. I wasn't saying it was a piece of junk. That wasn't my video. Watch the whole thing. All I'm saying is that the body styling was not to what I wanted or what, and it's not just me. Just let me clarify real quick before we go. It's not just me. There are how many? Let me find it. There are 234 comments, and 99% of them say the exact same thing. And there are 200 thumbs up and only 25 thumbs down on the video. So the majority of people really, really do wish that it had the same body styling, not just me.
Okay. Well, that's the final word of the show then. We're out of here. Everybody be safe out there. Take care of yourselves during this virus situation, and meet us on the air tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good night.
Good night.
Later, everyone. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Are we supposed to keep